Okay. So we're going to start now. At least one person can hear me. Good to meet you people again for a chat about the progress that you're making in the data scientist program. So this morning I will give, it's going to be, I think, it's going to be a brief meeting, depending on the number of questions that you have and some of the things that I want to talk about. So I will give you the opportunity to ask questions as we are starting now and at the end of our meeting. So just to start with, how is the program so far? So you can put on your mic, or if you want to just draft a chat, that's also fine. So how is the program so far? Any opinion, any observation, any difficulty, any progress? Anybody? Someone is trying to connect to their audio, but I don't think they're connecting.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm asking about how can I improve my visualization skills, as I found many difficulties in this skill. How can I improve it? By projects, by what? Or can you recommend some books to read?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, when you want to learn anything or you want to improve on anything, the best way to do that is practice, right? And I think so far, some of the courses that you've taken, there were some just mention of data visualization and all of that. But as you progress, you're going to take some full courses on data visualization using Matplotlib, which is the de facto library for doing data visualization, and even the more aesthetic ones like Seaborn. So you're going to take at least 3 courses on data visualization. So so you can wait until you take those courses, and I believe after that you should be able to improve on your visualization skill. So so for recommending textbooks, you know, there are so many data science textbooks that I think anyone you pick will be good. So it's also good if you have time on your hand. You know, I always suggest. So the courses that I assign you, you know, you're supposed to commit about 20 hours per week to this program, but the assignments that are given to you generally should not take you 20 hours in a week. But, you know, I put the buffer there so that, you know, there are people that learn very slowly, or there are people, perhaps you are doing some other things, so you might not have all the time in your hands. So so I would say that if you have the time, yeah, pick up any data science textbook and also browse through the platform where you are learning, DataCam, and try to take additional courses that you think they are interesting to you, so that you can improve your learning or the skills that you're learning. So so this program is designed such that, you know, you are driving your own learning. So you're given the opportunity, you are given the access to materials to learn. So and opportunities to improve yourself. So the more you invest into it, the more you can get out of the program. So I believe that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So any other question? So Mohammed says the program is very well, but we need more projects outside DataCam. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. You're going to get them. So for now, you are 3 weeks into the program, and you know, not everyone is on the same level. So some are just coming in they are learning Python for the very first time, and you know, there's a learning curve there. So the projects will come. At least you will have one project by December or so. That is not from DataCam, depending on when we have the discussion on whether you want to have a break in December or not. So, all right. Any other question, observation, comments? All right. If there are none, okay, there's one more. There's one question. So I try to make my DataCam profile public, but DataCam support tell me, as I am in the academic group, only the administrator of group can make this profile public. I want to know if our profile in DataCam is only for you to track our progress, or if it's possible that you make our profile public for personal assigned DataCam platform. Yes. Okay. Let me think about it. You know, there's always concerns about you know, privacy and all of that. So perhaps that's the reason maybe that was made private. So the reason it was made private is not only to track your progress. We are going to track your progress anyways, because that's the only way we know whether you complete your assignment or not. And then, so for making it public, I think let's look into that, and we'll make a decision. Yeah. So any other thing? So let me just contribute to the questions. So so the courses so far, do you think you're learning something new, or the courses are beneficial or not? Any opinion on that? Do you think the courses are teaching you anything? Are they beneficial to you? You know, sometimes the reason you know, someone like me wants to know about this is, you know, many people start this program and at some point they decide to leave, and it's one of the questions we'll try to answer now. So, for example, do you think you have too much assignments in a week, or do you think the courses are too difficult? Do you think it's difficult to complete the assignments? Do you think the time is too short to complete the assignments? So those kind of questions. If you have an opinion, let me know. Or if you have something that you want to say about them. Anybody? Okay, so at any point, if you have anything to say, just let us know. So the other thing is I want to talk about is, building a portfolio. So which should be your target anytime you are training to become, anything that is about building skill, like data science. So building portfolio, and what does this mean? What is a portfolio? So a portfolio generally is it's something that showcases the skills that you have. So the practical skill that you have. And there are many ways you can do this. And it is the most important thing in your training. So even though traditionally when you are going through an educational program, your goal is to get some paper that will say you've been conferred a degree, whether it's a bachelor's or master's or PhD. So that's essentially what you show for. That's what you have to show for your learning. Okay. But it's going to be different for this program and for any data science program that is serious, because even if you complete 1,000 courses, it does not tell anybody how good you are with your data science skill. Okay. So while it is good to take the courses to gain the knowledge, you have to put those knowledge into practical skills. So let me quickly. So there's a comment, DataCamp has a good approach to teach concept. Good. Yeah, I also agree, because you have the short concept being presented, and then you quickly practice on those small concepts. What about statistics learning? Many short calculations found in the exercise, like mean, median, IQR, and correlation, but their theoretical explanation not given in the course. I think we need one basic statistic course. I think at that time, for our theoretical understanding of statistics, kindly guide us. Okay, so what you can do in this case is, you can pick up any basic statistics textbook and go through the basics. If you've forgotten, or you've not gone through any basic statistics previously, but there is about 2 or 3 statistics courses that you are going to go through this program. Maybe that will be sometime in January, for sure in January. So you are going to have 2 or 3 statistics courses. So by that time, maybe you have a better understanding of the basic concepts in statistics, and even the more advanced ones, beyond the mean, median, and all of that. You talk about p-values and statistical significance and all of those things. So in January, you take some statistics courses. The courses are okay, but for someone who is trying to learn data science for the first time, I feel like there's so much information crowding me at a particular time. Maybe I am just making excuses. Yes, it is understandable. You are not making excuses. It's just the way you've just expressed it, the way it is. So if you're learning it for the first time, yes, there are so many information that is being thrown at you. So that's good. Sometimes it is for your, even if it is for your awareness that, oh, this thing exists, that thing exists. So what I will advise you is just focus on the concept. Don't try to memorize anything. Don't try to memorize any syntax, any code, and just focus on the concepts. Okay. Yes, there's a lot to take in, and that's the way it works. That is why it is good. For example, you took a course that went through, like, the data structures in Python, And then, there's just so many things, lists, tuples, dictionaries, and all of that. In dictionary, there's no order. In tuples, all of that. There's so much information that you cannot put in your head just like that. So that is why, for example, you will have a follow-up to say, okay, you've learned some of these things. Give a tutorial, give a lecture, or write something about dictionaries. So, and if you take it seriously and you do your due diligence and not the way some of you approach these things, so you are asked to write about something and some people just write about 50 words, you are never going to learn about that concept. Because now you have so many things going on, and if you actually go back to listen to the courses again, go on the internet, look at the information that you can get about dictionaries, and you actually try to give in form of tutorial what a dictionary is, you will see that you learn a lot, things that you did not even know that were said in the course, or things that were not mentioned in the course, and all of that. So that is why every assignment you are given, or anything that you find out yourself, or you are trying to find out yourself, it's important. They all contribute to your learning. So that's a good point. Don't be worried about it. It's understandable, and you are never going to learn everything at once. Okay, so there's a kind of back and forth that you have to do, and when you actually learn these things is when you put them into practice. So you're going to be having to give tutorials or to do a project, and you have to go back. Oh, how can I use lists to solve this problem, or dictionary? How best to save this data? In what form should I save it? So yeah, that's a good point. So this program has helped me a lot in my final year project. I have been able to put many visualization learned from this course in the project. Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, you're welcome. Very happy that you're finding it useful. Yes, it is very helpful, but I think we can focus on projects more than writing tutorial on data insight. You are not going to, what's it called? There are many data science training, so every program has its own focus and the way they want to direct you, okay? And the way they want to direct you. The best way to learn anything, research shows, it's by teaching it. That's the best way to learn it. So you cannot, if you want to remain in this program, you cannot avoid writing tutorials or writing you cannot avoid writing. It's just because of our limitation. So there are 4 skills that is important for you to have. Maybe you've learned it previously in your previous life or anywhere else, but in data science, they're also important. You must be able to listen to, what is being taught, which you generally do. That's 70% of how you learn on DataCam is by listening. So that is why it's a passive way of learning. It's not active. It's a passive way of learning. Although you do some guided, you are guided to write down some equation, but that's also good. It's mostly passive. So you are going to learn how to listen, and you're going to learn how to, that's taking in information. And you're going to learn how to read. So you're given information, instruction, you're going to learn how to read. You also do a large part of that on DataCam. So there are 2 other skills that you must be able to do, and that is what gives you progress. So now it's not taking in information, it's not listening or reading. So now you have to give out. You have to project yourself. and that is speaking and writing. That you cannot avoid. If you want to tell anybody that you're competent in data science and employ me, or I have this skill, you have to be able to speak about it or write about it. So, so you cannot avoid that. And, you know, there's always complaints. And I told you at the beginning of this program, don't ask for more projects. Don't ask for more courses. That's why you're a free being. If you go on Kaggle, you find thousands of projects that you can do. So if we don't give you projects, you have no excuse. There are thousands of projects outside of data insight that you can do. So if project is your focus, go on Kaggle, for example, and go and do projects. So we are going to give you the projects that we have, and we're going to give you all the assignments that we have. And you can take any courses that you want. You can do any projects that you like. The program does not confine you to do only what we give you. So that's the point there. So I think the projects are quite a bit advanced. So that's another different opinion, and it's understandable because everyone is not on the same level. So some people feel they are not doing much projects, and some people feel, oh, the projects are too advanced, or what they are doing so far, it's already too advanced. But that's where life is. Some people have already completed 10 courses, while some are still struggling to complete 3 or 4. You know, that's life, and it's okay. So if it's too advanced, take your time, do your best. Some lessons are not discussed in preceding topics. Yes, because data science is an emerging field. It's not like physics that we've been doing for centuries. So if you want to take physics 101 now, or any introductory physics, there's generally an agreed number of topics that you should do and in what order you should do them. But data science is emerging, so there's no structure to how you should learn it or how you should progress right now. So because of that, there are some things that you will come across in some courses that you don't have basic background, and later on you will have a full course on them, so that you have a better. So that is why it's not just get a piece and leave. So that is why it's a whole. It's a whole program. So you try to, and even after you complete the whole program, your learning does not stop there. You know, learning continues for life. So things will come up, and that's the way it is. So just follow it the best you can. But he says overall, it's beneficial. So yeah, that's good. So I will continue on if there are no other comments. So I will continue on my thoughts. So building portfolio, and that is why some of you are, talking about projects. Yes, you are going to do projects, and we're going to assign you, or you can assign yourself. I recommend Kaggle, where you can have a lot of data sets, for example, or you can use the Google search. You know, they have a search engine now for data sets. You can always get data sets and do all kinds of things: data analysis, machine learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and you know, natural language processing. All of those things you can do them, but you know, it's a program, and you should learn some materials before you start doing all those kind of things. So so like I was saying, the courses are good, but I want you to have it at the back of your mind that the portfolio that you build is what will give you the edge after you complete whatever you want to do. Maybe it's, you want to get a job, or you want to be self-sufficient, okay? Because at the end of the, some people are complaining about writing, right? Some people are complaining about instead of writing, and you don't know that, I can give you my word now. By the time you finish this program, and the skills that we're trying to impute in you, you don't have to get a job. You don't have to get a job before you can be earning, okay? So if you go to many platforms, don't let me mention anyone now. If you go to many platforms, even just writing, if you write 1,000 words on technical things like data science, you can make a lot of money, okay? So even after you complete this program, you don't get a job. At the end, we are going to share with you, places that you can set up yourself and start making money with the knowledge and the skills that you have. And that is why writing about data science is very important, because it's actually one of the fastest ways you can start making money after you complete this program. So, we are not going to leave it. So you can decide to do it properly or do it shabbily. And another reason why you should, and it's part of your portfolio, writing is part of your portfolio. So already now, if you ask me to choose some people, because I've practically looked at all the posts that everyone posted. And if you ask me for who do you think has an idea of what they are doing, or who is committed to their learning. So if you complete 10 courses on DataCam, there are ways you can complete courses on DataCam and you don't have to learn anything, okay? It's just completing the course. But on your posts, I know if you've learned something or not. I know if you know what you're talking about or you don't. I know if you understand the concept or not, okay? And the only way you can deceive me that way is deceive yourself and say someone else should write it for you. But based on what you've written, I know if you know what you're saying. Okay, so even if I have some opportunities to recommend to people or to recommend for someone, I know people I can pick. Oh, if you pick this person, oh, they are going to write this for you very well. There are some people I cannot pick because when you write a post or you write about something, it is public, and then basic due diligence, like you have to check, for example, the grammatical structure of your writing. So there are softwares you can use like Grammarly or all of that. So those things should concern you. And if you actually do your work very well, you should be able to share, you should be able to share. If you are a social media person, you should be able to share, oh, this is what I've done. Anybody, you don't know wherever they are, anybody that you share with and sees, oh, this is what this person has written, and they are saying they are just learning data science, they're just starting. If they can do this, what can they do in the next 1 year? So you create that, so it's a way of marketing yourself, and you create that opportunity. And that is why if you're given any projects or any assignments, you should do it very well, because this is what forms your portfolio, your writings, the projects that you've done, and that is how we are going to build the project. So your writings, whether it's tutorial about the concepts or the projects you're going to do, which will sit in your GitHub repository. And that's another thing I want to say about your GitHub repository. So no, I don't think you've taken a course on GitHub. You're going to take that, and there's a project, there's a DataCam project on GitHub also. But try to look at GitHub, see how professionals present their work on GitHub, okay? And present them those ways, and try to annotate your notebooks. So give some description. If your description is not detailed, it can be brief. And then, since you are explaining things in a blog post, you can always put like a link, for detailed explanation. This is my writing about it. You can link it to your blog post. So those are the ways you market yourself. And the other point is, even on your blog post, you can have your name at the end. You can have your name at the end that links to your LinkedIn profile. So if it is a good blog post, usually if I read anywhere, if I read a good blog post, I want to know who wrote it. And then, I check them out and all of that. So it's a good way to link your profile. Or there's a section even on Data Insight that you can put your little information, some kind of contact, so that, these things can create opportunities for you. And this is from experience, they can create opportunities for you. So we'll try to do our best to build your portfolio in these ways, and all of that. And one more thing about when you write on Data Insight. So I noticed that some of you have a lot of you have like a couple of drafts. So I don't know, maybe you write it and somehow you can't find where it is. And so if you log in and you search for your name and you go to your profile, you will always, on the left panel, you always see a section that says my draft. So you can always find your draft that way. So you don't keep on, maybe you write and you can't find it and you start all over again. So that should not happen. Can someone confirm if this is what is happening, that you have, some people have some drafts and then they start all over again? Hello? Anyone? Okay. All right. So someone says, I have read in many places that we should not put guided projects or projects that we learn in any courses in our portfolio. We should put our own developed projects only on our portfolio. Can you please give your thoughts on this? Exactly. So no one has asked you to put any guided projects on your GitHub repository. So so because it is guided, it's practically the same. It's practically the same thing. And but if it is unguided, what that means is that you are the one providing solution. The data set is a public data set. If it is unguided, then the work, how you provide solution to the data set, the kind of questions that you ask and all of that, they are your own thoughts and they are your own work, and you should be able to put it on your GitHub repository. So if you go back and look at the instructions, so there is no instruction that will say you should put a guided project on your GitHub. So only an unguided project should be. So an unguided project, meaning that the work that comes from from your thoughts and your questions and your answers, so you should put on your project. So does that clarify things? Okay. Yeah. So the other thing is, so like I told you last month, so we are doing this to provide as many people as possible who would otherwise not be able to, maybe for some reason or the other, to give you, at least the opportunity to learn this emerging field and the opportunities that it presents, even in the nearest future. So, but because of that, there's just you know, if you do like my university and you have $50,000 from each person, so you can employ a lot of people to do some things, but you know, it's just not possible when you are running a free program. So so there's something that I think I will encourage you people to do, and if you are so in academics or in academia, which is where I am, so there's something we call a peer review. So peer review just means that I'm going to review your work. You're going to review my work. We criticize it. We say good things when we see it. Oh, that's a great thing that you did there. Oh, this what you did there does not make sense. Can you clarify? Or can you you can actually make this thing better if you do it this way. So that's what we call peer review. So you give constructive criticism, okay, and feedback, all of that. So so I think when you write something, you should do that. So and the way I think is best to do this is, if you could form a group of four, groups of four, and then you know what you do is each person in this group, you criticize the writings of the other four of the other. So if you have group A with 4 members, you have group B with 4 members. So one person in group A will criticize. So you just have to read about four people in. You have to read about 4 people in group B and try to provide some feedback if you think there's something that they've done that is not okay, or something that they did that is really great. And you can ask questions. Oh, how did you do this? I can, so you too can also learn, like, oh, how did you do this? I would like to do this in my own writing also. So at least, so if you do it that way, so from 8 people, each person can have criticism from 4 people from the other group. And then, you know, each person can have feedback from 4 people. So I think that is something that should be done. And, you know, you can help each other. So in some places, I've tried to make comments on your posts. For some people that have, I mean, they have some critical things, you know, I try to message them privately, or so all of that. But I think between you, so there are some people that are very advanced, there are some people that are just starting. So peer review helps a lot. So so you are building a community and you are learning by criticizing one another. So what do you think about that? I think it's something that would be good. Any thoughts? Do you think it's a good idea, or do you think it's a bad idea? Okay. All right. So maybe we try to organize. So it is a very good one. Peer review is a great idea. It helps a lot. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but can we make it like a mandatory task? Do you want us to make it like a mandatory task? Not really. I don't think it should be mandatory, but I think it's a very good idea. So it shouldn't be mandatory. No. Okay. So one other thing, before I open the floor for any questions again, and before we say goodbye. So right now you have assigned courses and assignments until December 15. Okay, so so there are 2 options here. do you want to have a December break? So that would be a 2 weeks break. Or you want to have you want to have something doing during the December period. So if you choose to have a break, so after December 15, your next assignment will be due sometimes first week in January. So there will be at least a 2-week break. Otherwise, you will have some assignments, and then, you know, they will be due during Christmas and New Year celebration and all of that. So I would like to know which one are you so eager to learn, not to have a break, or perhaps the way you are looking at the assigned courses, you'll be overwhelmed already and you would like to take a break. Any thoughts? Okay, it is good to have December break. This period is for farm work. Oh, that's really nice. Where? Yeah, I don't know a lot about farming. Okay. Any other thoughts? So someone is supporting having a break. Any other opinion? Okay. Can it be on January? Coffee harvest. Okay. So there's coffee harvest in December. Can the break be in January? No, I don't think so. Why do you want to go on break in January? All right. Any other? So those are the, those are my thoughts and the things that I think I want to talk about. Any other thing? Any other questions? Any other concerns? So you should let us know, and we can always continue our discussion on Slack. And I just think it's the best way of communicating, because there's a lot of messages moving back and forth, and Slack has a good way of helping you to track the messages that you've not read. So I think that's a good idea. Yeah, one thing I was planning to do that I did not, I did not plan very well, so I'm not doing this. Some people had a very good, they have a very good presentation when they write and all of that, and how to present things. All these things matter. So especially one thing that I have to comment in a lot of posts is, if you're writing about a work that you did and you have some codes and all of that, you can't just dump it. You can't just dump it on the internet. It will not be attractive to read, and no one will even pay attention to you. And it's a very bad sign. So you should have a way to, if you have codes in your writings, have a way to present it. So there's someone writing about at least 7 ways that you can embed your code inside a post. Okay, I thought it would be ready before today, but it's not yet ready. But as soon as it's ready, I will share it with you on Slack, so that you have the options. At least you can use GitHub. the native one in the native blog post where you write. So there's a code snippet functionality that you can use. So at least at the minimum, you should use that. Or there are other ways you can host it on GitHub Gist, and then or DataCam, all those kind of things. So I'm going to share at least 7 ways that you can do that, and that's what you should be using in your work, even after you complete this program, because if you want to continue in data science and you want to continue to share your opinion, those are the ways you should do things. So, and the other thing is, when some people use some images, you can't use images that are of poor quality, because it's a red sign. People will just turn back and not read your work. And the other comment is on the way some people put their code on GitHub. Try to provide some, on GitHub, you can always have a README file. So have some description about what you've done in the code, and I mean, whatever you're talking about, and all of that. So yeah, so those are just my thoughts. We continue to talk on Slack, and if there are no other questions, I think we'll call it a day. And I wish you the best as you continue to learn, and I hope that you get the best out of out of this program. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. Yeah, so I'm going to wait behind for like 5 minutes. If you have something private you want to talk about or further questions, so I'm going to be here for another 5 minutes and I will be gone. So is there some sort of a tutorial or a resource to look at on learning how to write blog posts in general? Because I seem to be lacking in the skill. So you can always Google these things and you have tons of information. But the best way, I think, is when you look at other blog posts written by people, then you see how they present things. You know the good ones when you see them. So for example, I told everyone to create an account on Medium. So Medium is a platform where many people write about various things. So you can see the way people write, and you can try to, do the same thing. And then, at some point you even find yourself doing things that, others don't do, and which makes you unique. So you have to be able to spend time, and then you have to be patient, and you have to be able to do some research about what you want to write about and to present things logically. So the way you approach it is, don't assume you are because you are not the one that when you are writing, you are not writing for yourself. You are writing for someone somewhere, and you have to assume that they have no idea of what you are talking about. So you have to present things in the way that they are going to understand it. So for example, some people will come, okay, like you're asking me now that, is there some sort of tutorial? It will be good for me if I have a tutorial that I know someone wrote last year, I will just send you to the tutorial. And your expectation will be, oh, when I go through this tutorial, I should be able to learn how to write it, right? So that is the point. So anything you write now, if it's good, I should be able to recommend to people who are coming behind you to say, oh, this is, oh, I did not really understand how to use dictionaries. Oh, but Magdi wrote about dictionaries and it was very good last year. Look at his blog post. And then hopefully when he goes through the blog post, you should have been able to, teach him even better how to write, how to use dictionaries. So that's what I would say. Okay. Yeah, all the best. Yeah, see you. Bye.